Well, good morning, everyone. This is Bob Bailone speaking. Many of you on the call know me and vice versa, certainly. We appreciate you taking some time out of your morning to join us. And we're going to go through, Scott Marks primarily is going to go through the use of the new circular merchant web application and also mobile application. This is a material exchange type tool. And many years ago, probably about 15, 20 years ago, a system like this was originally started by the Small Business Development Center network here in Pennsylvania. And it was pretty much a static website in that things could be posted. And if you wanted to go see, what was there, you'd have to log in and go to a website and go through that. And this has been updated significantly with the circular merchant as a much more reactively designed process than what previously existed. That tool no longer exists through the Small Business Development Center network, and we worked with them on developing this to replace it. Consequently, DEP felt there was a need to have an exchange platform of some kind, especially with the 2017-2018 downturn in international markets for materials. And consequently, we're working to launch this. You'll see that much like any other program or piece of software, it's a relatively basic item to use. And, certainly it's our intent to continuously, now add to the features and add to the benefits of it. But by and large, for recycling coordinators in particular, it gives a platform for, exchange or trade of both recycled materials and, yard saleable type products. The advent of something like this from the point in time it was originally developed as a material trader 15 to 20 years ago till today, certainly we have things like the Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and eBay and all these other sorts of, services that, provide for exchange of materials and exchange of goods. But, this is a Pennsylvania platform for doing that. And we welcome your use of it and your population of use of it. We also have developed, for those that might want it, we have a brochure that gives a real quick overview of the use of the circular merchant and how to establish a user ID for it. And then we also have a template half-page press release. So if you would like some literature that's already developed for your, your area or your county or your municipality, or your, the citizens of which you work with, let us know and we'll provide that to you, no trouble, and you'll be off and running. So with that, I'll turn things over to Scott. Scott Marks is a recycling program manager with the Recycling Market Center, significant IT and also engineering background, and he'll lead us through today's instruction of it. Thank you, Scott.
All right, thanks, Bob. And as Bob said, my name is Scott, and I do know some of you I don't. And like we all probably are, I look forward to seeing everyone face to face, hopefully in this coming year. So what I have shared on the screen now is just a web browser going to circularmerchant.com, and you can see the basic front page here. Now I'm not logged in, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what you can do without creating an account. And in short, you can look at all the materials without an account here. So I'll scroll down a little bit, and you can see these two main blocks here. We have find and we have list. Find is if you're looking for something. List is if you want to create a listing to get rid of something. So I can click on start browsing here. And what this is going to show is this is going to show all of the items that are in the system now. Okay. And you can further refine that by, I only want to see electronic scrap stuff. Oh, there's no electronic scrap in there. I know there's plastic in there. You can click on that. And likewise, you can see the same thing by coming down here to these highlighted categories. Now, we selected these categories primarily because these are the most common materials that you all are processing and go through the recycling stream. And then we have this last category over here, just called reuse and yard sale. You can see there's shingles and tires in there, so that's a catch-all container for now. But as Bob said, this is a brand new site, and we do have the ability to change those categories. And we're certainly open to your input to ways to make this better. Or we may find that the reuse category is getting clogged up with a particular type of something or another, which we can create another category. So let's go ahead and we'll look at the anatomy of a listing. So let's go ahead. We'll choose this baled plastic containers. Now you can see it looks like something you would see on an online marketplace with the category you can see is plastic. There's a price there, a location, and then the user uploaded a couple of photos, so you can scroll through them and see what those photos are. Let me pick another one here. And here's the tires. Now let's say that you had an interest in this. You can just click on the contact seller button here, and then the person who created this, you can see there's their email, and then there's a phone number in which you can contact them. You also have the ability to click on one of the social media buttons here. So let's say you wanted to share it on Twitter, you could just go ahead and click that, and looks like it's it'll pull up the Twitter page to which you can then post the item. Okay, so you can do any of this sort of stuff without creating an account. Now, if you want to list something, you do have to have an account. So you click on the login button there at the top, and actually what I'll do is I'll show you how to create an account first. So you click on this register link right here. So when you click on that, you can see just a basic registration form. The stuff that's highlighted with the red asterisk that's required. You can see it's pretty standard stuff: name, email, phone number, a location. You can enter a location, and then you can. What the email notifications mean is let's say that you work primarily with electronic scrap. What you can do while you're creating your account is click this button here, and then whenever somebody posts something in that category, you'll get email notification that there is something in there that corresponds to that category. And you're not limited to the number of stuff that you can do there. And then you create your password, you click register, and then you're in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as myself. Oops. All right, I'm in already. So in any case, so when you log in as yourself, it's going to take you to your dashboard. Now you can see there's a number of different things in here that you can do: the editing the profile, your privacy settings, your password, all that kind of stuff. But you can also create an ad or see what ads you have listed. Now you can see I don't have any ads here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make an ad. And this is the same as if you clicked on the list on the main page. So we'll go ahead and fill this in. So I'm putting in miscellaneous desktop computers, and then I'll go ahead and choose the electronic scrap category. And here you can choose a file image to put in there. I'll go ahead and choose one. And in the description here, you can put whatever you like in there. And you can see quantity, that's not required. So you can put something in there if you want or not. Now the price category, you can put a price in, obviously, if you wanted to. I'm going to put a 0 in because that has a special meaning, and I'll show you what that is once the listing is posted. And this restricted use, this is pretty much for, we're not going to, this is to filter out if it was going to be any sort of hazardous material as kind of defined by the DEP. We have it in there. It's going to be no, but it's in there in case we need to use that in the future. So most of your stuff is going to be no there when you put it in, and then you can either enter a location or you see the little diamond thingy over here. You click on that, and it's going to do a Google lookup, and hey, look at that. There's my address. And then I can click on the preview button, and it's going to show basically what the ad's going to look like once it's posted. And so there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and publish the listing. Now you see here, your ad has been put into moderation. Please wait for an admin to approve it. And we set it up this way initially because we don't have any technological controls in there that prevents people from putting in offensive material, offensive language, or anything like that. So we're starting out by having it go into moderation, and then myself or someone else can go in, and once they see that it's a real ad and not spam or something offensive, then it gets approved. So I'm going to go ahead and approve that now. So you're getting a look at the plumbing here. So here's the one that I just did, and I'm going to go ahead and publish that. And now when we come back in here, when I go to my ads, there you can see there's the ad that I just placed. There's all the stuff associated with it. There's the contact info that I just put in. And now if we go back to the main page, you can see it shows up in the electronic scrap listing there. So that's the process of actually placing something for sale. So yeah, I meant to say earlier, please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask it. Wayne is looking after questions. We have a relatively small group. If you have anything specific, I can answer that now. Also, as Bob said, this is the newer version of an older system that that was used in the past. So we're looking to get as many people using this as we can, because no matter how good the site looks, if there's only so many listings in there, we need to have critical mass of stuff in here. So as Bob said, we've got supporting documentation that you can hand out, or however we want to kind of advertise it. But the more people we get using it, the better, because there'll be more stuff and people will come to see it and so forth. So
hey, Scott,
yeah.
Scott, can you demo the Find tab?
Sure. Yeah, so in Find, you can either put in a keyword here. So like, for instance, I know that there's tires in there, right? So I just put tires up there in the search box, and you can see it pulled that up. And you can see from looking at that, it searches into the details. So whatever you put up in there, it's going to search the entirety of the listing to effectuate the search. Other than that, if you don't want to look for something specific, then you can look on certain materials. You can search by location. And 7112. In any case, yeah, so you can search on location, you can search on materials. Let me go ahead and clear this. And you do have the ability to organize it, as you see fit to your preference. So that is the Find. Is there a quantity or bulk threshold for listing? I see a question from Kyle. No, and actually that reminds me of something that I wanted to show. You know, we want this to be used by anybody who finds value in it. You know, obviously, people in the recycling business, processors, municipalities, but we also want you know, citizens to use it if they've got, you know, something that, you know, they don't, their only alternative is to throw it, you know, in the trash. You know, if there's a platform they can use, and this would certainly fit the bill. So we kind of designed it for a variety of uses. But going back into the create a listing, we don't do any sort of you know, any trapping for the quantity or anything like that. I mean, if you look at the ad that Mike Chris put up here, let me look at that again real quick. You know, he's got 40,000 pounds of this number 1 to number 7. So what I did want to show you is on my ad here, you remember I put in 0, and when you put a 0 in there for price, it comes up here for contact for pricing, because it might be free. You might not know how much it's worth. You might want to actually negotiate with somebody, have them call you to talk about, you know, the pricing or so forth. So when you create the listing, if you put a 0 in there, it's going to come up with contact for pricing. Any other value you put in there, that's what's going to show up here in the listing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on Android. Okay. So as Bob mentioned, we have both an Android app as well as an Apple application, and you get that by going to, this is an Android phone here, so you go to the Play Store, and I type in Circular Merchant. Circular. And there you can see middle of the screen, Circular Merchant is the first one that pops up. And I obviously have it installed here, but if you did not have it installed, the highlighted green button would say install, and you install it like just like you do any other Android app. And then the same thing on the Apple side, you would go into the App Store and install the software that way. But this is the app, and you can see there's the ad that I just put in for the computers. And you know, one of the things that we spent a lot of time on in designing this was we wanted it to be a similar look and feel, whether you're on the website, whether you're on a tablet, whether you're on a phone, because, you know, it's likely that, you know, if you're out in a yard, or you're at a business and they've got a bunch of stuff that's laying out there, you might be on your phone rather than a desktop computer. And so we put a decent amount of effort into making sure that the app looks and feels, and it's the same type of, you know, looking for, getting rid of, etc. And so let's say that you don't like to have apps on your phone because you've got a million on there already and you hate installing a lot of apps, which I sometimes feel that way. I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like on. So this is Chrome on my Android phone. And so this is, you know, just a web page that's being rendered for a phone. And you can see you still get a similar look and feel. You can see it's stacked the find in list because that's the best fit for this particular phone. But again, you click on whatever you're looking for, and there it shows up. Okay. So that's pretty much what we have here. Let me go ahead and quit sharing this thing. Do we have any other questions that we've missed?
So we have a question from Shelley asking that you could post this to your website Are we specifically targeting business and commercial users, or can we also put this out for individual things such as reuse and yard sale? So the answer to that is yes, you can post this certainly to your website and connect to it. We welcome that. And are we targeting business and commercial users or individual users? As of now, we're targeting both. We encourage both audiences to use the platform equally, whether it be on an individualized consumer level or it be on a manufacturing or commercial or small business or business level. And if we see that, you know, there's just an overwhelming onslaught of interest in use of this system, then what we will likely do is break it into two platforms, one that is, you know, business, commercial, manufacturing, you know, exclusive, if you will, and then one that is consumer facing. As for now, again, with the upstart of it and being new, we just wanted to get a critical mass of information populated to the system, and to do that, you know, we welcome any and all listings, certainly, and we thank you in advance for your interest to connect it to your website.
Okay, Patrick has asked a question. Is this meant to serve as a regional or national service or only within state? So there's no reason people outside the state couldn't use it. We're certainly, you know, we're funded by and the app is funded by the PA Department of Environmental Protection. So we're obviously going to be state focused. But on the other hand, if somebody is across the river from Bethlehem in New Jersey and they want some of this, you know, juicy recycling material across the state, there's no reason that they can't do that.
The question that I was answering was, what does it look like if you put 0 in for a price? And what I did was this was the item that I posted. And if you put 0 in here, it says contact for pricing. So you know, that way, if you want somebody to contact you directly so you can speak to them, or sometimes you don't know a price and so forth. So I saw a question that Mike Krista, I think it posted, was, will it show how many views you get? You know, that's something I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure it does. I don't know if I can see it right in here or not. Let me hunt and peck just for a minute here. Otherwise, I'll have to look that up. So let's see. If I go in and look at my ad, analytics, there we go. Okay, Google Analytics area. Okay, or error. So there you can see page views, unique page views, and time on page. So I guess the answer is yes, that it will. But the Google Analytics is broken here. So let me make a note to fix that. But it's nice to know that that's where you go to look and see how many views your item is getting. And that's right, that's under the dashboard. And again, to get there, you click up on, once you've logged in, you click up on your profile up here, My Dashboard, and that's where you'll see everything pertaining to you and your ads. Clicking on the individual ad and then clicking on Analytics will show you the page views and everything. I see a question from Lauren. When there is a buyer interested, is the sale completed through the site? The answer to that is no. We decided not to do that because, you know, there's a number of different situations, you know, and we just thought, you know, this would be best positioned just as kind of like a matchmaking service, where we can have people that are interested, or organizations that are interested in a certain type of material, and, you know, matchmaking them, so to speak, with people that have that material. So the thing is, though, is you know, you're both going to have accounts on here, and you know, if there's interest, you know, you can contact through the email, and let me go in and show you that on there already. So obviously within my contact information, there's going to be an email address that will be public facing, as well as a phone number. So, you know, if someone's interested in that, you know, they can contact you that way. Actually, let me go ahead and look at one of the ads that are in already. So if we look at this one that Mike posted earlier, you click on contact seller here. And there you can see there's the contact info that that Mike put in his contact profile. In which case, that's how you make the transactions. Another question that's come in, just confirming that individuals can use as well. I think I saw a yard sale category. Yes, that's right. And let me go back to the categories so we can talk about that. So the short answer is yes. We're encouraging anybody to use this because we're trying to keep stuff out of the landfill, trying to make things reused or recycled. So we are encouraging anybody to use it. And the yard sale, the reuse yard sale category is just kind of a catch-all for stuff that we don't have categories for. Now, as we get down the road, like here, for instance, in the reuse yard sale, we have some tires and we have asphalt shingles because there wasn't any of these up here that really applied to that. So again, as we tweak things moving forward, if we find a need for rubber or something like that, we'll go ahead and create the category. So yeah, your reuse yard sale is kind of the catch-all category, but you are perceptive, Justin, in that we did use the word yard sale kind of intentionally so that perhaps an individual user might want to use it as well. So thank you for reminding me of that. Can this app be downloaded to a PC? The answer to that is no. We only had them develop. We only had our developer do an Apple version and a web version, or excuse me, an Apple version and an Android version, because it's a little bit of technical info here. It's what they call responsive design, and you know how you go to a website on your phone when it doesn't fit quite right or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze my screen here. Well, let me do that. Share it. Let's see. All right, you see how I'm squeezing that all together? So this is the way kind of development's going now, rather than developing apps for PCs, for Microsoft or for Mac and all that. We're not, we don't have developers in house, and the fact that this is a web-based app or a cloud-based app. We did talk about it, but just it didn't seem to make sense because we figured, most people are going to be, using, if you're out at your site or you're someplace where there's a bunch of material, you're going to be on your phone more than likely. So that's the reason why we decided to not do that. But that's a good question. Thank you.
Wayne or Bob, is there anything that I missed in my spiel there?
Scott, one thing that I'll add for the benefit of the group too is that, we will be curating the postings and the listings, also looking at what people are hopeful to find. So like, for instance, with the plastics posting that Scott demonstrated, if we, as the market center, know of, a potential end user of that plastic, rather than simply let this ad sit still, we'll quietly intervene and see if we can't help move it along as well. So one thing that comes along with this that hasn't in the past is a live warm body to actively curate and place the item or material if in fact it makes sense to do so. Just to let you know that we will be regularly and routinely monitoring this and interacting with it. Again, we certainly encourage everyone to use this, give it a try. Feel free to install the mobile app either with Apple or Android. Scott showed both are downloadable at no cost. And if you have any other additional feedback, please let us know. Yeah, and as Bob mentioned, that there is a warm body to curate things. Well, I'm the warm body, and as I said earlier, this app is not any good if we don't have people using it. So, I will help in any way that I can, or reach out to anyone else that we think can help in your particular situation. But even to the point of having trouble setting up an account, I'm happy to answer questions via email, phone, or a private Zoom session, whatever you want to get things rolling, because we think it's really a nice product. There's not really anything like it in the state, and we've built it for success. We hope to have hundreds or thousands of users at some point, and we'd like to see
it be used to solve some problems in that, keeping stuff out of the landfill. So, so my phone number is 717-948-6660, or you can get me at SMARKS@PennRMC.org. And I'm happy to help in any way. And I do appreciate everyone's time in attending the webinar today. And I hope everyone has a great day.